When the Stones found chart success in late 1963, they quickly grew out of the club circuit, and Giorgio Gomelsky had to find a band to replace them.
We didn't want a copycat band of the Stones just to keep the audience, you know. I always felt that we could go further. One element that was kind of missing in the Stones were instrumental improvisation, you know. And so we said we need to get a band where there are people that can play solos.
Gomelsky found what he was looking for in the Yardbirds, featuring lead guitarist Eric Clapton. They were soon drawing a large crowd of their own to the new Crawdaddy Club at Richmond Rugby Ground.
I mean, the thing is, we hadn't actually been a band very long before we took over from the Stones into this club. So, I mean, we were still rehearsing our act.
Right.
And, I mean, Eric was, you know, he was still in embryo form. Remember when he used to sort of go and stand behind his amp?
Yeah, he was very shy.
He was very shy.
He was trying out with his solos and
things.
And he had his own group of followers that used to stand right in front of him on the stage.
The Clapton clique, yes, who loved him from afar.
That's right.
I mean, he was charismatic even in those days, but he was very
funny
shy.
in those days, because usually everyone would go for the lead singer, but it was different in our band, wasn't it?
Yes.
Through most of my youth, that my back was against the wall, and that the only way to survive that was with dignity and pride and with courage. And I heard that in certain forms of music. I heard it most of all in the blues, because that was an individual. It was always one man with his guitar versus the world. And it wasn't a company, it wasn't a band or a group or anything. It was, when it came down to it, it was one guy who was completely alone and had no options, no alternatives whatsoever other than just sing and play to ease his pain. And that echoed what I felt in many aspects of my life.
Eric, he already had a sort of tendency to dandyism, you know. He had kind of like crew cut when everybody had long hair. He had long hair when everybody had crew cut. He had this Ivy League idea, you know. And he was kind of a delicate, some sort of elegant, sort of delicate, long fingers, and sort of a good player.
Well, I'd heard him quite a few times with the Yardbirds in the early configurations when they were starting, and probably for the first year. But I mean, Eric really hadn't got his chops together, as you know, he'd probably tell you. I mean, he was just learning to play the blues.
He used to break a lot of strings. Remember, he used to use those very, very thin gauge strings.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he always...
and he got that name Slow Hand.
Yeah.
Because he was slow at changing the strings.
Well, remember the audience here, if he broke a string, obviously the music kind of wound down while he changed a string. And of course, the crowd used to... That's how he got the name, because they used to sort of, in a good-natured way, they used to slow hand clap him.
That's it.
And he got known as Slow Hand.
Yeah, that's it.
God came later.
You made me walk from Chicago. Oh, Louisa, you've been gone.
The asthmatic lead singer, Keith Relf, was the nominal front man of the band, but he was completely upstaged by Clapton and the succession of brilliant lead guitarists who would make the Yardbirds one of the most influential groups of the decade.